So if you have Cleveland going for Shador, and I guess raising his draft status above what maybe most observers have him at, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think the Giants would do that with someone else at third overall if both Ward and Shador are off the board and the Giants are on the clock and hadn't made a move up? Do you think they do that also? And if so, for who?
What's interesting is it's the majority versus it only takes one, right? I've heard nothing about Jackson Dart to the Giants, and you're sitting there with the opportunity now at 3 and a fan base that's pissed off because you missed on the quarterbacks again this year in their minds, right? And it's like, well, if Jackson Dart is a possibility at 7 for the Jets or at 9 for the Saints, but everyone's saying, more late first, early second, and everyone's talking about, well, maybe Pittsburgh or a team trading up, if the Giants miss out on him, miss out on the top 2 quarterbacks at number 3, they could trade back up and get Jackson Dart. But then you start asking the question, well, if he's good enough to go at 7, could he go at number 3? I don't think it would be the case. I don't think we're going to see quarterback 1, 2, 3. I truly don't. And quite honestly, I can see a scenario in which Shador's sitting there and they've got the decision to make between Shador and the top 2 players in this draft. That's a tough one, man. And again, for most organizations, it's Abdul Carter or it's Travis Hunter. We're talking about an elite pass rusher, second most important position in terms of the NFL. Or we're talking about a generational talent, someone who's never done what Travis Hunter could potentially do, playing on both sides of the ball, what he does with the ball in his hands, his ability to take the ball away, all of those things. For most organizations, it's a no-brainer. But for the Giants, with Joe Shane and with Brian Daboll and the clock ticking, the noose around the neck is getting tighter and tighter. You got to win. You got to win now, and you got to show promise. So that part's interesting to me. But quite honestly, I think if it goes quarterback 1, 2, it comes down to Hunter versus Abdul Carter. I went with Hunter. It's kind of a coin flip at this point. I know this. It's a puzzle. We know the 4 players. I feel strongly that there's a good chance the 4 players are Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and Shador Sanders going in the top 4 picks. Then New England, whichever, if it goes Abdul 3, they take Hunter, and then vice versa. But trying to fit exactly how that board flows, it becomes a trickier assignment.
Well, the mocks I'm seeing have Hunter go to, prior to the one on the McShay report, have Hunter going to New England, and a lot of talk that he would be the receiver there. I mean, you would agree with that?
Have to play it.
You would agree. You would agree.
I honestly,
how about anywhere? How about anywhere? Not just New England. How about anywhere?
I think it actually. I don't think it varies in the conversations I have with teams based off of the evaluation, but more so kind of what the need is in the situation. You can't draft Travis Hunter if you're New England, and look at Drake May and be like, yeah, we're gonna play him at corner full time. We got Christian Gonzalez and we just brought in Carlton Davis at the other corner spot. So we're gonna put him at nickel right away, and you get 20 plays with him on offense. That's not how it's gonna work. Nice. I also want to say this.
Yes.
I think he's Garrett Wilson, and maybe a little bit more dynamic after the catch. And I think he's a little more advanced, even though he spent the majority of his time like in meetings and the focus at corner. I think he's a little bit more ready to be a big-time player at wide receiver right now in the league than he is corner. He's going to be awesome at either or both. But I think he's a little bit more advanced as a receiver. So if I'm Mike Vrabel in that organization and we draft Travis Hunter, he's got to be a weapon for Drake May first and foremost. And then I figure out third down packages, red zone, certain situations. I switch the moonlighting, if you will, from he's an offensive guy moonlighting on defense. That would be the route I would take if I'm New England.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.